What we're going to be doing is a 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States.
Well, the impact of tariffs are starting to show up in the showrooms. New auto prices are rising and incentives are falling.
The stupidest president in American history backed down again.
Toyota, Honda, and Nissan have dropped a bombshell on America's auto industry, and the fallout is nothing short of catastrophic. In a stunning move, these Japanese titans have started pulling back on their American operations, and the impact is catastrophic.
I think we'll still see relatively strong sales. That's the expectation within the industry.
Toyota, Honda, and Nissan have become household names in the United States. Today, these three Japanese giants dominate nearly one-third of all cars on American roads, accounting for a staggering 49% of the U.S. market in the first quarter of 2025. That's over 1.06 million vehicle sales in just 3 months. Let that sink in for a moment. They didn't just join the game, they became the game.
Toyota is launching a new version of its bestseller, the RAV4, but there are some headwinds when it comes to tariffs, and of course that involves where they make them.
They've mastered the art of blending in, building trust, and winning loyalty. For decades, they set up shop in American towns, creating jobs and supporting entire communities.
Absolutely. I think when you get to June or the end of June at least, you're going to see people they're going to feel the pressure and they're going to have to do it.
Together, they've employed millions in their U.S. manufacturing plants, producing cars like the Altima, Civic, and Camry that became staples of American life. It seemed like a win-win. We got reliable cars, they got a booming business.
Donald Trump will foolishly remain in the threat and retreat cycle for who knows.
But here's the unsettling question. Was it all just part of a bigger plan? A long-term strategy to embed themselves so deeply into the U.S. economy that they could wield unmatched leverage when the time was right?
President Trump's 25% tariffs on auto parts is set to go into effect on May 3rd. That comes on top of the existing 25% tariffs on foreign cars that are in place at this moment.
When the U.S. government imposed 25% tariffs on vehicles imported from Mexico and Canada in April 2025, it thought it was protecting American automakers and workers. It was supposed to be a patriotic move, one that would save local jobs and boost domestic manufacturing.
And once again, Donald Trump backed down. It should come as no surprise to faithful viewers of this program that the most cowardly president in American history backed down again.
But instead of bowing to the pressure, Toyota, Honda, and Nissan responded with calculated ruthlessness. They didn't panic, they pivoted.
The biggest automaker, Toyota Motor, announced on Wednesday it will make further investments to expand production.
Toyota shifted production to Thailand, a move that caught everyone off guard. Honda fast-tracked its electric vehicle EV production in Vietnam.
Now Nissan is on life support. The company may not survive beyond 2025.
And Nissan scaled up Rogue production in Southeast Asia, avoiding the tariffs altogether. It was a strategic masterstroke that left the U.S. scrambling.
When you look at Toyota's footprint in the United States, yes, sales were up 3.4% last year, and its market share is now up to almost 15%, number 2 in the United States.
Back home, the fallout was immediate and brutal. Dealerships faced crippling supply delays. Car prices started creeping higher, hitting American consumers where it hurts most, their wallets. And worst of all, an estimated 499,000 U.S. jobs are now at risk. The very workers the tariffs were meant to protect are staring down the barrel of layoffs, plant closures, and a future filled with uncertainty.
David, a big week for Toyota here in the U.S. because we're at the headquarters in Plano, Texas, where they're unveiling a slew of new vehicles that will go into production and on sale later this year, early next year, including the new RAV4.
For Toyota, Honda, and Nissan, the answer was clear. They weren't going to wait around to be boxed in. By shifting their investments to Southeast Asia, these companies secured cheaper labor, more flexible trade agreements, and access to growing markets. They moved faster than anyone expected, demonstrating a level of agility that American automakers couldn't match.
Its current year growth forecast for the United States, going from a forecast for 2025 of 2.2% growth projected to now just 1.6% growth in March.
But this isn't just a story about corporate strategy. It's about what gets left behind. Entire towns in places like Michigan and Texas, where Japanese automakers had long supported local economies, now face a grim future. Suppliers are reeling, and the ripple effects are being felt across the heartland.
This is the beginning of the creep higher in prices as long as the tariffs are in effect.
So, was this a brilliant business move by Toyota, Honda, and Nissan? Absolutely. But it's hard not to feel like the U.S. got outmaneuvered on its own turf. The silent giants didn't just adapt to the tariffs, they turned them into a weapon, one that's reshaping the landscape of the global auto industry and threatening America's place in it.
Felon to serve as president of the United States backed down again.
And here's the thing. This isn't just about cars. It's about trust. The same brands that built their empires on American soil are now pulling back, leaving a trail of economic uncertainty in their wake. If this is what winning looks like for them, what does it mean for us?
That's why they have given Donald Trump exactly nothing.
Let's talk about The Great Escape, but not the one from a Hollywood blockbuster. This one stars Toyota, Honda, and Nissan, and the plot twist. They're quietly leaving America high and dry while securing their future in Southeast Asia. First up, we have Toyota, the master strategist. They didn't just dabble, they made a bold move by shifting key production to Thailand, a country they've dubbed their new manufacturing sweetheart.
That's Hyundai right now. They're hanging in until June 2nd. They're going to reevaluate at that point.
Meanwhile, Honda decided to double down on its electric vehicle revolution, expanding production lines in Vietnam faster than you can say carbon-neutral future. And then there's Nissan, cranking out rogue SUVs in Southeast Asia like it's the hottest new trend. But this isn't just about building cars in exotic locations. No, it's about redirecting billions, yes, billions in investments to ASEAN economies. These regions offer cheaper labor, no tariffs, and let's be honest, fewer headaches than trying to navigate U.S. trade policies. It's like finding a new coffee shop that serves better lattes at half the price. You're never going back to the overpriced one.
And in backing down again, Donald Trump once again became a loser.
Let's not sugarcoat it. America's auto industry is struggling to catch its breath. Nearly 3.2 million vehicles are built annually in the U.S. by Japanese automakers, supporting over 2.29 million American jobs. That's not just a statistic. It's the backbone of countless families, communities, and local economies.
It's been definitely slowed down. Customers were confused a couple days after we spoke.
And let's not pretend this is just business as usual. It's not. This is a calculated move, a chess game where every piece has been meticulously positioned. Toyota, Honda, and Nissan are not just adjusting to market trends. They're reshaping the global auto industry to their advantage.
The policies are all reversible and will be reversed.
And the worst part? It didn't have to be this way. For years, these companies were woven into the fabric of American industry. They built cars here, employed people here, and gave back to the communities they operated in. But as soon as things got tough, tariffs, rising costs, they pivoted.
An economist I spoke to says announcing investments is important for car makers to maintain their business in the U.S. But the fact is, it's going to require time and effort.
Now they're focusing on regions where they can save a buck. ASEAN economies are the new frontier, and America's role in their plans? Let's just say it's fading fast.
But Donald Trump will not carry out any of his tariff threats from that point forward.
So, what does this all mean for America's once mighty auto empire? Are we witnessing its slow demise? Some might say it's just a rough patch. But let's be real. When nearly half of all US-based auto production is controlled by companies that are slowly pulling out, it's hard to stay optimistic.
I can tell you for sure that unless something changes, car prices are going up. And when that happens, it's likely to be significant, and it's definitely going to have a big negative effect on affordability of new cars, which is already a problem.
Let's dive into the reality check that's probably going to sting. Consumer betrayal. And yes, you're the consumer. The very companies we've come to trust, the ones whose cars we swear by, are now passing the buck to us. Tariffs? Not their problem. Guess whose problem it is? Ours.
Basic automobile is $50,000 or more.
Expect to pay more for less. Those shiny new Toyotas, Hondas, and Nissans, they're coming with a bigger price tag. And oh, don't expect to stroll into your local dealership and drive off the lot the same day. Nope. Longer wait times, fewer options, and even the once reliable dealership experience is starting to feel like a bad Tinder date, full of delays and disappointment. So, while Japanese automakers tighten their global strategies, we are left holding the bill. Sounds fair, right?
China's biggest automaker, BYD, has reportedly sold more electric cars in Europe than Tesla for the first time.
And then there's the geopolitical chessboard. This isn't just about cars anymore. It's about power plays and shifting alliances. China, ever the strategic opportunist, has rolled out the red carpet for Japanese automakers. Incentives, partnerships, and investment deals. It's a warm embrace that's hard to resist.
About Japan's 30-year and 40-year bond continues to spike. And then now it has reached a level that is at a 20-year high. And this is putting their 40-year bond yields at 3.6%.
Meanwhile, Japan's cooling on its relationship with the U.S. is more than a little noticeable. One major sign? A reduction in U.S. bond purchases. It's subtle, but the message is clear. Japan is diversifying its economic allegiances. And guess who's at the top of their new BFF list? ASEAN, the CPTPP, and even India. The result? The US is looking a bit isolated in this global auto race. It's like being the last one picked for dodgeball, awkward and a little embarrassing. But this isn't just about hurt feelings. It's about influence. If Japan, China, and Southeast Asia cozy up, America's role in shaping the future of global trade diminishes. Could this pivot push even more of America's allies into China's orbit? The answer isn't just about economics. It's about the US's standing on the world stage.
Chinese automakers with stiff tariffs, effectively doubling the price of a Chinese export.
While the US is stuck in tariff tantrums, Japan is busy playing the long game. And the name of that game? Electric vehicles. Mazda, for instance, just dropped $150 million on expanding EV production in Thailand. Meanwhile, Toyota has gone all in with a $2 billion EV plant in Shanghai.
I need to say that BYD is not just China's biggest EV maker, it's actually the world's biggest EV maker that most Americans have probably never heard of.
Japanese automakers haven't just responded to the changes, they've outmaneuvered the US entirely. While we're still debating how to save Detroit, Toyota, Honda, and Nissan are securing their dominance abroad. The result? A slow fade into irrelevance. Fewer jobs, fewer new models, fewer investments. This isn't a dramatic collapse. It's a quiet, painful decline. The kind that leaves communities struggling and the industry a shadow of its former self. So, can America recover? Or are we witnessing the beginning of the end for what was once the world's automotive powerhouse? That's the question we all need to grapple with. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to get to know more about this tariff war.